Today I'm going to be doing a roundup of my favorite brushes that I've collected like 3-4 years ever since I started my makeup addiction. First brush I'm going to mention has been my ride or die for many years, and this is the Real Techniques powder brush. I actually have 3 of them. I don't know why. I just loved it so much and I just use it every single day for my powder, but I love how big it is, but it still takes on a lot of product. So you can put on a lot of product and then you can easily buff it out with the big mass of brush. Now if we're talking about OG old school brushes, this is a Forever 21 powder brush, and I got this such a long time ago. Like, this is my first ever brush that I ever purchased, and I used it for everything. I used it to buff out my foundation, I used it to set my foundation, do my blush. I used it for everything, and it was my only blush brush, and it's still going strong after 3 to 4 years. So it's been there for me ever since. But I use this brush still because I love how it is so soft that when you put on a very pigmented blush, for example my Becca blushes, you get a little bit on there and then it just easily distributes it for you, so you don't have too much, and it just takes it away and it doesn't make you look like you have a cloud of pink on your cheeks. Next are the Real Techniques blush brushes, and I love these for the same exact reason as my Forever 21 ones. But they are very fluffy, so if you have a really pigmented blush, you can use this and it won't get too much on your cheeks. This is a NARS brush, and I do not know the name still. I thought it was Yachiko or Yachiko, but it is not. I like this brush because it packs on a lot of product, so it kind of like does the opposite of my Forever 21 and my Real Techniques. But this one packs on a lot, but it buffs it out for you. So you're kind of getting a 2-in-1 where you have the blush on it and then it just buffs it out. So I love this brush. I just discovered it last year and I use it every single day. Another blush brush I've been loving is the Tarte, I think this is the contouring like cream brush or whatever, I'm not really sure, but I bought this when it was on sale at Sephora and I've been using it with my Becca Wild Cream ever since. I love how this is kind of like for cream, so it takes up a lot of product in here, but at the same time it distributes just enough so you can actually really buff it out. I use it to do my blush, so I put my Becca Wild Honey on and then I just go in circular motions, and since this is kind of like an airbrush kind of duo fiber brush, it just buffs things out for you. So it's perfect. Next is the Tarte brush. This is like the giant paddle brush. I'm not really sure what the name is either, but this is what I use for my bronzer every single day. It's kind of like the NARS Vita brush, but it's way fatter, so you can really bronze it. I don't really suggest using this for contouring because when contouring you want like that stripe, whereas this kind of gives you like a big kind of look, so I use this for bronzer. Or if my contour is way too harsh, I will use this and blend it out. And to contour, I use the Makeup Geek Chisel Cheek Brush. This is such a perfect brush. If you do not want to spend $50 on the Ita brush, definitely check out the Makeup Geek one because it pretty much does the same exact thing. It has that very slim brush where you can really get into your cheekbones. You can really chisel out your cheeks. So inexpensive, such a good price, and it is a very good brush. Next is the Sigma F35, and I use this for highlighting and setting my under eyes with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. This is very fluffy, but at the same time, it's not too fluffy to the point where it's like the Real Techniques blush brush. It is so good, and I love how it's chiseled, so you can really just get up in your cheekbones, or you can use it to contour, or you can use it for so many different things like I do. This is the Sigma F05, and I love to use this for bronzing when I want to diffuse anything that I have missed. So this is kind of just a brush where it's like, oh, I forgot to do something. Here, let me get my trusty F05 to blend everything out. These right here are my favorite highlighting brushes, and this is the Real Techniques setting brush. Did I also mention that I'm sick as well? So I kind of have like a bunch of things going on at once. But anyways, this is my favorite highlight brush because I love how small it is, so you can really just get onto the cheekbones and it doesn't distribute too much product. You can easily put some, tap some off, and you're good to go. So I love these brushes. That's why I have 3. Another Real Techniques brush, this is the Duo Fiber Contour Brush. I do not use this for contouring actually. I use this to blend out my highlighter. It's so perfect for doing that because it has the duo fibers and it kind of just buffs everything and blends it, so you do not have that streak of highlighter. You have that beautiful blendedness of blending. Woo! Moving on to eye brushes, my first favorite is the Sigma E40 Taper Blending Brushes. I have two of these. These are like the old school ones. They pretty much repackaged and like re-bristled all of their brushes, supposedly. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but I heard people are like, oh, the old ones are so much different from the new ones now. So I'm kind of glad I am stuck with the old ones because I love these to death. Everyone says that the new ones are shedding or they're not as fluffy as the old ones, so I love how I have the two of them. But this is pretty much my blending brush for life. I use this to diffuse my crease. I use it to apply my transition color. I use it to blend everything in if I'm using one solid color, and it is so beautiful of a brush, and I wish I had like 10 more of these because I use these every time I use my eyeshadows. Another Sigma tapered blending brush, this is the E35, and I use these also kind of like the same thing as my E40s, where I take my colors, my transition colors. Sometimes I use these to deepen up the crease, and these are beautiful for that. Next is a really random brush, but this is the e.l.f. crease brush. I love this little crease brush, even though it's like $1. It is so good because it is small enough to where I can actually concentrate the color inside my eye socket. I do have smaller eyes. I am not one to have like really big lids, so these little brushes come in handy, especially when they're tapered, and it's only $1, so I have like 5 of these. Next is the Makeup Geek Soft Dome Brush. This is a beautiful brush for diffusing anything. This is like my ride or die blending brush. When I need my crease to be blended, when I need anything to be blended, I go to this brush because it is tapered and it is soft and fluffy and it is small, so I can really get into my crease or anywhere I need it to be. This is the Sigma E25 blending, and this is similar to the MAC 217. I do not own that just because it is a little bit over my budget, so I love this one to really get into my crease. This is another crease brush that I love and love to use to really concentrate the color, but at the same time it does buff it out, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1. Next is the Delium 781. You can see it is very small and it is very concentrated. I love to use this for my smoky eyes when I need to blend out a black that I put all over my eyes, or I have a black in the crease that I need to blend out because it is so small, but at the same time it is very fluffy, so it kind of keeps the color there, but at the same time it buffs it out. So I always use this with my smoky eyes. Next is the MAC 242, and this is the best for packing on any type of lid color or pigment. It is so small and it is so flat that it just keeps the pigment on your eyes. It doesn't really create any fallout unless you have glitter, but it just packs it on so precisely that I use this all the time for my lid colors and my glitters. Next is the Sigma E30, and this is my favorite pencil brush. This is my ride or die pencil brush. There we go. This one is a really fluffy pencil brush. I do have a Delium one, but that one is really scratchy and it is very dense, so you can really poke your eye out with this. But with this one, it's very fluffy, so you can get underneath the eyes and you can easily blend it out. It's a beautiful brush. I definitely recommend it. Another pencil brush is the Makeup Geek pencil brush. It is so small, it is so good. I love how it's so small because the inner corner of my eyes are not attached to my upper lid, so it kind of just stops, and then here's a little center part where I can put my highlight. So I love how concentrated this is. I can really get into the inner corners, and I love how small it is, and it is so inexpensive. These are really random as well, but these are the Essence Precision brushes. And I love these for my brows when I am using a pomade or going into my Senna brow look. I love these because they are very inexpensive, but they are angled at the same time. I do not recommend using these for wings because they do flay out a little bit, so you don't have that precise, sharp, crisp wing. So I definitely suggest these just for brows. For eyeliner, I love the Delium 762, and these are so inexpensive. They are so good. I have maybe 4 of these in my collection because I love how they give just a crisp line. This is my ideal eyeliner brush. Like when I want a sharp wing, when I want to cut a bitch, I use the 762. I have to mention the e.l.f. concealer brushes because these are so good for so many uses and they're $1 each. So I use these for lips, I use these for applying pigments, I use these to apply my bases, I use these to spot conceal. I use these for so many reasons and they are so inexpensive. I have 10 of these, like not kidding you, and I use this for everything. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I gave you guys some suggestions for new brushes or any ideas, and I will see you guys in